Hello and welcome, it is Debs here. Really good to have you with me today. So I wanted to talk to you today about the rules. The thinking that you have creates your reality, and within that thinking you will have created rules for yourself in your life, rules that keep you trapped, that keep you small, that keep you believing things about yourself that are simply not true. And to find freedom, to have peace of mind, to move forward in your life, to create a life you want, it's really, really handy to see those rules and change them. Change what's going on, change your thinking. Because if you want to have a different life, you need to be a different person. But how do we do that? How do we change this thinking that we have? How do we, it's not as simple as we decide to think something different. It is relatively simple, but it just works in a very different way to the way that we assume. We assume that if we want to think something different, we just have to, oh, okay, I'm just going to think something different. But in my experience, that's not how it works. But I am going to share with you today a few things to play around with, a few things to try and notice, because what we are talking about here is if you want to have a different experience of your life, of who you are, if you want to change these rules that you've made up that keep you small, that keep you trapped, this is very much about raising your level of consciousness, raising your level of awareness. So the first thing that you have to do, or the first thing that is incredibly helpful to do when you find yourself stuck in your own thinking, stuck in a situation, something that looks like a situation that has nothing to do with your thinking, the first thing you need to do is to become aware of your thinking, to become aware of how you are thinking. Because our levels of consciousness, another word for consciousness is awareness. And when we are stuck in these, stuck with our rules, stuck with, to be a good mum, I need to clean my house, to be a good partner, I need to have dinner on the table, to blah, blah, blah. These things that we make up, these rules that we make up for ourselves, to start to change them, we need to become aware of them. So I would invite you to take a few minutes, take 5 minutes, and just sit quietly and just listen to what goes on in your mind. No judgment, without any judgment, just listen to what goes on in your own mind. Now, I know a lot of people shy away from that. It's not something that we are prone to do. We tend to watch television, have music playing, speak to people, do things, distract ourselves, read. Sitting and listening to our own minds is not something we have been invited to do very often. But if you have the courage to do that, if you spend a few minutes and listen to your own thinking, listen to what is going on in your own mind, that opens something up in you. And you will begin to notice then that even when you are, doing other things, even when you're just going about your daily life, you will begin to notice your thinking. You will begin to see how you are thinking. Once you begin to show an interest in it, once you get curious, once you look in that direction, you will begin to notice your thinking. So the first step we need to help ourselves to think differently is to become aware of the fact that we are thinkers, and to become aware of what we are thinking without judgment, just watching and seeing what we are thinking. So when you played around with that, when you've done that for a little while, then it gets fascinating when we begin to see some of the things that we think that just look solid and real. I'm not good enough. If you notice yourself thinking some kind of insecure, some kind of belittling thoughts about yourself in that way, and very often these thoughts will come with 10 reasons why you're not. Well, it's really fascinating once we begin to see that and we become aware of that and we look at those thoughts. When thoughts are just happening and going through our mind and we are just taking them as real, they can get away with all sorts of things. When we actually stop them in this way and see them and look at them and begin to become aware of them, they don't look so big and scary. They don't look so real and true under the light of awareness. When we bring our consciousness, when we bring that light to them, they don't look quite so big and scary and as if they are true. And when we do this, we begin to loosen the hold they have on us. And you'll begin to notice in the mix, if you continue this practice of spending 5 minutes now and again, 5 minutes every day, just looking at what it is you're thinking, this becomes a practice for you. What you will begin to see is that along with some of this thinking that just looked solid and real and true, and as if that is how it is, you'll begin to see other possibilities arise, because this is how we change our thinking. We don't make this decision that I'm going to think differently and I'm going to think in this way and police and control our thoughts. But as we raise our levels of consciousness, as we raise our awareness, as we get curious, as we look and shine a light on things, our mind opens and other possibilities arise within us. And then when another possibility arises within us, we have thoughts that we believe to be true. And from those thoughts, from those things that we believe to be true, then our behaviour comes, that's how we behave. And when we begin to open our mind and have different possibilities, the potential for behaving differently, for becoming a different person, also arises. So play with that. I would really invite you to take that 5 minutes, to make it a practice, to look at, without judgment, just notice. You know, if you're on the bus somewhere, if you're washing up, if you're just having 5 minutes before you go to bed, if you're going to read your book, or watch something on telly, just before you do that, just take 5 quiet minutes and look at how you think. Look at the thoughts that go through your mind. You might be surprised by what you find there. As always, I would love to hear from you. If you've got any comments, anything you would like to share, please feel free to comment below this video. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you would like to dive deeper with me, I'm doing something called 365 Days of Cracking Creation at the moment. I'd love you to join in that with me. And there's also details of my website of the things we've got going on. So take care, have a fantastic day, and I will see you somewhere soon. I'll be back with another video. Take care. Bye.